Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome to Benny versus the Penny. Happy weekend to you. It's week number 3 in the National Football League, and Ben's warming up the pen right now, getting his picks ready. Before we get this thing underway, I want to let you guys know that this show is powered by Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live, Boston-based. It's a Mac-based application for all your streaming needs. You can go on YouTube, Facebook, Google, whatever you need, Zoom, the whole 9 yards. It's great. You have all kinds of software that allows you to embed some different codes, obviously overlays. You can get people into the conversation, out of the conversation. As you see here on YouTube, you can bring people that are chatting online into the show as well. We want to make sure everything's inclusive, get some of your picks as well. But the man of the hour is Ben Maller. So without further ado, if you want to make sure you get involved in all of this, Ecamm Live, the affiliate link is at the bottom of the description. Ben's got some extra stuff for you guys this weekend as well, courtesy of Fanatics, but we'll tell you that later on. Now, Ben Maller, what up, man?
Hey, Gascon, you're wearing that shirt again. Look, you look like Kramer yet again. It's wonderful. Are you going to give out stock advice? Is that on the agenda here?
Not today.
No?
Not today. No, not yet.
I'm very happy because I actually ate at a restaurant for the second time since March tonight. Because that's a spot where King Newsom has not closed all the, like they opened the restaurants for like 25% capacity.
Yeah.
I felt like a normal human being eating in a restaurant. It was fascinating.
So you ate at a new restaurant and then
now
you got...
I'm going to pick NFL games.
Well, that, and you also cleaned out your house. I see that you've renovated and you got new furniture coming in, old furniture going out. I love what you've done with the place.
Yeah, what do you think? What do you think? Yeah, well, I am a minimalist. I don't believe in having a lot of furniture, so, why not? I can't afford furniture. I do overnight radio, and now I'm giving out marginal handicapping advice. So at least I've changed up my space. Yours looks exactly the same, and for some reason, even though it's nighttime, I can see crazy.
Yeah,
crazy.
I still
don't shake your head like that.
I still got the studio. It's all I got. I don't have like the $10,000 worth of equipment that you got, but it serves me at least good for right now. So I don't know. We got to live with it. I don't live in a mansion like you. I don't. If you think I have
$10,000 worth of equipment, your math ability is lacking greatly. You might want to try the Maller Math Book for Idiots, which is available on Amazon, I believe, unless it's not. So I think I'm going to do well. I like the card better this week. I did not like the card much, guys. It was not something that I felt very strongly about. I feel better about the games this weekend, so we're going to try to clean up and beat the bookie. How about that?
All right, fair enough. Well, let's go into that. We'll take a peek right now at what you did in week number 2. You went 8-8. It's 500. It's nothing to be shy about. You did juice out. Was there any game that you thought, damn it, I should have gone back and pulled the string on the other side?
Well, yeah, I like the Rams, and then watching how the Rams went blitzkrieg on Philadelphia and kicked their ass, and I didn't think Carson Wentz would play that poorly against the Rams. Maybe the Rams are actually good. I had reevaluated the Rams. That was one because that wasn't even close last week, and then there were a couple that I got burned on late touchdowns. Tampa Bay was covering against Carolina, and then there was a late score in that game. I think it was that game, but there were a couple of them. I was close to having a 10-6 week.
Yeah.
And instead I had an 8-8 week. So, it happens. It's gambling, right? You're going to get burned a couple times. You'll make it up. And I did get that backdoor cover on the Bengals in the Thursday night game because the Bengals covered on that late touchdown with like a minute to go. So I went 8-8, which the goal is not to go 8-8. The goal is to at least you got to win 52.4% of your bets. If you do anything below that, you blow. Anything above that, you're good. And so that's the goal. You got to get at least 52.4. And actually, it's got to be higher than that to make any real money. So on the year, though, Gascon, even with the bad week last week, still hitting way above that number. We're still way above that number. So if you did bet every game, you're an idiot, number one. Number two, you've actually made some money there. So congratulations.
Yeah, you're sitting 18, 13, and 1. It's good for a winning percentage of 581. So it's all good.
Yeah.
You were so close with the Sunday night game, New England and the Seattle Seahawks. I like the play call to Cam Newton, but damn, it was they got blown up in the backfield. It was brutal.
But I don't even feel bad about that because, like, the Patriots were right there. It was that they had the ball in their hands at the end, a chance to win the game. So I didn't win the bet, and that sucks. But I felt like I was on the right side of that, even though obviously it didn't work out in my favor. But we should get to the games here, Gascon. You were complaining. You were like, hey, you got to pick up the pace here, blah, 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 blah. Now, we cannot leave the Mallard Militia out, though. We have to bring the Mallard Militia in. So we do have the chat room. You can see it if you're watching on YouTube, which is the only place you can be watching right now. So everyone who's locked in can watch on the YouTube. And just we need people to stay longer, Gascon. We need more TSL, right? Is that what they call it, radio TSL, where you just stay there and you lock in and all that stuff, right?
Yeah. Well, the good thing is you got some giveaways with Fanatics that we will give once we play a couple of Who Am I games. We got that on tap, and more importantly, you got some winners. I feel like you got some in the chamber. So where are we starting with tonight?
All right, so let's get one of the dog food games out of the way. Washington 1-1 at Cleveland 1-1. We're going to start here. It's on Fox. Kevin Kugler and Chris Spielman have the call. And yes, there is a Dick Stockton game, so we do have a Dick Stockton game later. We can play the which game is Dick Stockton calling. But it is not this game. Now, the Browns opened a 5.5-point favorite. They are up to a 7-point favorite. I've seen it as high as 7.5. That is a huge point spread for a bad Cleveland team. I know I call them the Redskins still. Yes, Washington. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna go into jail. But no, Washington, they stink. It's going to be partly sunny, 78 degrees at kickoff at First Energy Stadium in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio. I'm going to take Washington in this game plus the 7. Now, Jiminy Christmas, Gascon. This feels like an overreaction, this point spread. Cleveland should not be a touchdown favorite against anyone the way that Baker Mayfield has played. I feel like this is an overreaction because Cleveland did play pretty well against the Cincinnati Bengals, and it was a backdoor cover. Washington is as bad as it gets on. I'm not going to dispute that. But under Ron Rivera, it's still early in the year. Bad team doesn't realize they suck. They're still working hard. They got to scratch and claw to get some help. They're going to need turnovers by the defense. They're going to need special teams. They are not as bad defensively as the Cincinnati Bengals, at least not yet. So far, Washington is 13th in the NFL in yards allowed. So they're bunched up. There's a bunch of teams right in the middle because there's only been a couple of games. I don't want Dwayne Haskins. I mean, the worst part about this taking Washington is Dwayne Haskins, but I'm going to trust the defense. I'm going to trust the special teams to overcompensate. You got to keep it close. The Browns in this era have very rarely put together back-to-back dominant performances. They can go 50% likely and still win this game against the guys from D.C. or the D.C. area. This is a huge number. And Baker Mayfield, since he arrived in 2018, the Brownies have a losing record as a home favorite. It's only happened 10 times. They're 4-5-1 when favored at home in the Baker Mayfield era. And the Browns have failed to cover their past 5 games. So does that mean they're due to cover the spread? That goes back to last season, obviously. This is not a strong play, but my money is on the dog. I am going to take Washington. I also would point out that the sharps, the people you want to be on the side of, are all over the team from Washington. So the Browns are going to win this game, but the Washington Football Club will keep it close. Browns 20 and the Football Club 14. What a dumb name. And the Penny picks.
Penny's going with the Washington football team as well. I can see Chase Young getting after Baker Mayfield pretty good in this one.
Yeah. I mean, well, Baker, even against the Bengals, he had a big stat line, but his throws were still, he was all over the place. He was throwing passes, zinging and zagging and all that stuff all over the field. All right, next game up, Las Vegas at New England. Now, this is a game I am looking forward to. It's on CBS. It's the Jim Nantz, Tony Romo, the big game of the week for CBS, the early television window. The Patriots, a 5.5-point favorite at home at Gillette Stadium. It's going to be partly sunny, around 80 degrees at kickoff in Foxborough this week. It's a little warm for Foxborough standards. It's still early in the year. I am going to take the Patriots here. I don't normally bet on favorites. I lean towards the underdog, but I like New England in this game. And the first thing about this matchup, Gascon, you've got Cam Newton, who has been liberated as the man for the Patriots, and they had that heartbreaking loss we talked about earlier against Seattle last week. And Newton has a firm grasp on the starting job. He's going to spread the ball all over the field. He's willing to throw to all those ragtag receivers the Patriots have. And the main advantage here is that Cam Newton still has his legs underneath him. He's that dual threat quarterback, which will give the Raiders defense some issues. Also, Las Vegas, the public loves Las Vegas. There's been a huge overreaction because of what happened in the Monday night game and how dominant the Raiders were. And they did look good. They did look good in that game. I just don't trust Derek Carr. He's been playing great. This is a hiccup on the schedule. You got a big win Monday night against the New Orleans Saints. Everyone has been kissing the Raiders' ass all week. Boy, the Raiders are back. The greatness of the Raiders. And now they travel back to play an early game, West Coast time, body clock time. And the main reason I like the Patriots is Bill Belichick here. He is cooking up a witch's brew to slow down Darren Waller. I know he's been injured here this week, but he's been the weapon. And the Patriots have done a pretty good job of keying in and taking away the other team's top weapon. It didn't look like it last week because their secondary sucked, got burned on some really close plays where Russell Wilson threw the ball, and it was just perfect by Russell Wilson. But I have a feeling this week Derek Carr will be crying uncle. He's going to be crying uncle. And the Patriots, the thing that scares me a little bit is Josh Jacobs, the running game. However, there are 3 offensive linemen that showed up on the midweek injury report for the Raiders. Richie Incognito's on injured reserve. So I'm going to take the Patriots to win this game. New England 31 and the Raiders 23. And the Penny picks.
Penny's going with the New England Patriots. What's the over-under in receptions for Darren Waller this week? Yeah, 12 last week against New Orleans?
Whatever it is, you got to take the under.
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you got to take the under. When extreme outcomes are followed by a regression to the mean. Isn't that usually how it works, right? When you have a career game, you don't normally have another career game. That's generally how that goes.
Yeah, because we saw that in week 1. You went 10-5-1, and then you came back to Mother Earth at 8-8. So
wow.
It's kind of,
Bob says John Gruden is the white Lizzo. That's according to Bob. He's checking in. Skip the Zip says, "Go Raiders! I hope they win by 35 points." Jesse, I believe that's Jay Scoop, says Ben likes New England in this spot. I did not say I like New England in this spot. That's a bad job by you. Robert agrees with me. There's too much hype on Las Vegas. Aaron pointing out, the curse of the Bambino, the Raiders are good to win now. How dare you? Chris is upset. He wants to see the penny, Gascon. Why are you not showing the penny?
It's in incognito mode right now. So I think people like the penny more than they like your internet connection right now. They're complaining that you were working on AOL dial-up at the moment. So
I don't know what you're talking about. You said I sounded good, Gascon. What's wrong with that?
Sounding good and being connected good are two different things. But anyways, we're on to game number 3. What do
you want me to do here, Gascon? Can you hear me? Hello?
Hello, you got a tin can on. No. All right, so what we got? Houston and Pittsburgh, yes?
All right, yeah. Houston is 0-2. Pittsburgh also 0-2. It's on CBS with Ian Engel and Charles Davis. They have the call. Now, the Steelers opened a 6-point favorite. They're favored by 4 at this point. It's going to be sunny, 78 degrees at kickoff at Heinz Field. I am going to take the Steelers in this game at home. Another favorite. I'm going to take Pittsburgh. Now, this season, here's why, is rapidly evolving into a house of horrors for the Texans. And I wouldn't have it any other way. I wouldn't have it any other way. They have been taken behind the woodshed the first couple of games by Kansas City and by Baltimore, two of the top teams in the AFC. And every week they are playing the Navy, right? What I mean by that, they're playing like the Navy, or they are playing the Navy, because they are beaten by land, by air, and by sea. Any way you can possibly beat Houston, teams are doing it. The Texans are balanced, equally bad. They're 29th in scoring offense, 28th in scoring defense. It's only 2 games. Houston's been absolutely manhandled to begin the year. And Deshaun Watson is the 21st ranked quarterback in the NFL. Now he takes on that elite Pittsburgh defense. The Steelers, so far, I know it's a soft launch for them. They haven't played anybody particularly all that good, but the Steelers have their mojo back. Pittsburgh, they were 3-0 10 years ago. It's been 10 years since the Steelers team got up to a 3-0 start. They will do that in this game this weekend. They will complete that. That was actually the last time the Steelers went to the Super Bowl 10 years ago. The defense is legit. So far, they're second in yards allowed. They got those 7 first-round picks. Ben Roethlisberger has not shown to be old man Big Ben so far yet. And he's been better than I expected after his hiatus against the Giants and the Broncos. Now, typically, as I said, Gascon, I do not bet favorites. I generally stay away from favorites. But this game is such a mismatch here that this is the exception to the rule. Houston is fighting above their weight class, both on defense and on offense. I am also going against a trend. Pittsburgh, since 2018, is 7-13-2 against the spread as a favorite. That's a .350 winning percentage. I don't care about that. Give me the Steelers 30 and the Texans 20. And the penny picks.
Penny's going with the Pittsburgh Steelers. Houston's given up 34 points a game so far this season. They've looked embarrassing bad the first 2 weeks. But I know you love that. Do you like Deshaun Watson suffering more or Kyler Murray suffering more?
Well, it's obviously Deshaun Watson because we had a beef online. No online beef with Kyler Murray, but Deshaun Watson, he engaged.
Yeah.
He engaged. Renee says, Benny is a genius. You see that, Gascon? Renee has given me the seal of approval. Robert pointing out this is the Watt Bowl. Pittsburgh is a team right there with the 2 Watt. You had JJ and is it TJ? Is that the other Watt, right?
Yeah.
I think so. All right. And what do we have next here? Let's get to the next game. Tennessee at Minnesota. It's on CBS. Andrew Catalon and James Lofton have the call. The Titans this game opened to pick them. Tennessee's a 2.5-point favorite. It's going to be cloudy, 64 degrees at kickoff at US Bank Stadium. I am going to take the underdog. Now, the Vikings, I'm 0-2 picking the Vikings here. They've screwed me twice, but I'm going to go back to the well again. I will take the Minnesota Vikings plus 2.5 at US Bank Stadium. And there is nothing to actually like about Minnesota so far. Sometimes in life you are the dog, sometimes you are the hydrant, and right now Minnesota has been the hydrant. They suck in every phase of the game. They are the trough urinal at those old stadiums back in the day. Mike Zimmer, I don't think he took stupid pills. He's been very good over the years in this situation as a home dog. Mike Zimmer's 8-3 as a home dog against the spread since he took over in Minnesota. And listen, the Tennessee Titans have some big names on defense. They haven't played all that well so far. Tennessee is 25th in the NFL in yards allowed. They got sliced up by Gardner Minshew last week. There's going to be opportunities for Kirk Cousins to snap out of it here in this game. If I was confident that Ryan Tannehill was going to play a great game, he's played pretty well this year, I would be more inclined to take the Titans. I just don't trust him throwing snot rockets instead of lasers and all that stuff. And he has been, over the course of his career, Tannehill has been as stable as a hill of marshmallows in his road career. Mike Vrabel is 4-4. He's 500 as a road favorite. The Vikings trying to avoid 0-3, and they've got that great record as a home underdog since Mike Zimmer took over. Vikings win it on a late field goal. Minnesota 27 and Tennessee 26 is your final. And the Penny picks.
Penny's going with the road team of this one, the Tennessee Titans. Oh my! First time that we've seen a little bit of difference between you and the coin.
Well, you should copy my picks here, Gascon, because I'm gonna win. I would say 65% of these games I'm gonna win. If not, I'll do it again free next week. All my picks will be free next week.
Listen, if you don't hit 65%, what I'm going to do is I'm going to keep your book. I'm going to keep your book that I eloquently stole from you. The NFL.
I can't see it. It's not showing up, Gascon. I'm not seeing it on
the NFL cliches book. I stole it fair and square.
Oh, you got it? That was supposed to be my book. That was supposed to be my book.
I stole it from a certain workplace, and now I got it fair and square. So,
all right, fair enough.
Hey, listen, we got some Who Am I right now. So, what do we got on deck? We got you got something from Fanatics, yes?
Yes. If you want to support this podcast, this is a mom and pop podcast. And our friends, we've partnered over there with Fanatics. And listen, I'm wearing a old Brooklyn Dodgers hat. They got every kind of hat you could possibly want on Fanatics. You name it, jerseys, T-shirts, all of that available. So we've partnered with Fanatics, and you can see a link on the YouTube. And that they offer all the latest sports merchandise, great premium prices. So there's a link. You should be shopping at Fanatics anyway, but click on that link and you can help support the podcast. And also, when you do that, and there's a little code, it's the Fanatics link right there on the YouTube page. And also, don't forget to like that thumb up. You got to thumb up this podcast, right? You go thumbs up on that.
Sounds a little vulgar.
Well, would you want a thumbs down, Gascon? How about thumbs up for me, thumbs down for Gascon? How about that?
Either way, so here we go with the first Who Am I game. Falcons wide receiver Calvin Ridley is the first player since this Hall of Famer did it with 100-plus receiving yards and 2+ receiving TDs in each of the first 2 games. Who is that Hall of Fame wide receiver?
You're supposed to say, who am I, Gascon?
Yeah, who am I? But see, it's not like we're taking a pause to come back, so it's more along the lines of we got. Yeah. So Ben,
yes,
Marvin Harrison.
Sorry, I was reading the chat, Gascon.
Yeah, you're in love with the chat. First one goes to Marvin Harrison. Marvin Harrison with the Indianapolis Colts, the only other player to do that in the first 2 games of a season. So that
I think the Mallard technique, if I had asked that question, to me the surprising name is Calvin Ridley. Right? Calvin Ridley is the surprising name because Calvin Ridley's Marvin Harrison, you say, who is the first player since Marvin Harrison? No one is going to guess Calvin Ridley. Even the guys living in Georgia are not going to guess Calvin Ridley. But
see, I would disagree because I think it's safe to say that most people that watch sports nowadays only think and worry about the contemporaries, the guys that have played now, that are involved now. They have no recollection of 10, 15, 20 years ago.
Skip the Zip says, if you don't hit 65%, you eat the tomahawk steak live on this broadcast next week.
At 9 o'clock at night? That'd be great.
Yeah. Did any of you guys hear the Pat O'Brien podcast? I got some good email on that. People enjoyed POB. He was on the 5th hour today. He's quite the character, Pat. He's quite the character.
Yes.
All right,
so what do we got next?
All right, next up. Let's go to Atlanta, Chicago at Atlanta. The Bears are 2-0. Atlanta is also 0-2, so it's winless versus a team that's yet to taste defeat. It's on Fox with who?
Dick Stockton, yeah?
No, this is Kenny Albert. This is a Kenny Albert game.
Oh, he's
Kenny
back from the dead.
Yes, Kenny Albert is out of quarantine here with Jonathan Vilma. We got to get Kenny on the 5th hour. He's a friend of the Maller Militia. I believe he will do it here. The Falcons are a 3-point home favorite. This is being played in a dome, the Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. Mostly sunny, 78 degrees outside. Now, I went back and forth on this game. There are compelling arguments to take Atlanta. I couldn't do it. I'm going to take the Chicago Bears here. The Bears are perfect despite Mitch Trubisky. Now, Trubisky's been spotty. Each of these 2 games, he has played 2 good games, or 2 good quarters, rather, and 2 crap quarters. So he's yet to put a full game together. And he is the least accurate quarterback in the NFL, according to the next-gen stats. He is dead last in the targets being on where they're supposed to be. The next-gen stat for target throws in terms of completion percentage, he's at 65.6%. And to give you an idea, Russell Wilson's at 88% for Seattle. So there's a huge dichotomy between these 2 guys. Obviously, Russell's been great, and Mr. Trubisky's been so-so. Now, the Falcons have been an absolute punching bag so far this season. Hard to trust them as a favorite. That's really the reason I'm not taking them. You got to like the points. I figure this game will be close. And the Bears' defense is not the greatest, even though they've got some big names on there. Obviously, Khalil Mack, the headliner. I trust them more than I trust the Atlanta defense. And if it gets into a late game situation and I need a defensive stop, I am not going to feel confident trusting the Atlanta Falcons. Nobody should. And so I'm going to close my eyes here and trust Mitch Trubisky he will make enough good plays and not enough negative plays to handicap the Chicago offense. Here's another fun fact. The Falcons, as home favorites the past 3 seasons, Atlanta is 4-8. That's a .333 winning percentage against the spread. So they have not been good in this recent era with Matt Ryan at quarterback. I will take the Bears 34, Falcons 30, your final. And the Penny picks.
Penny's going with the Chicago Bears. It's tied for 3rd in the National Football League in points against. So going with them. And we have a friendly reminder too, Ben, and I don't know if you paid this off, but weren't you supposed to be eating some specialty last weekend after your Clippers crashed and burned?
Oh, yeah, bull balls, bull testicles. I have not eaten the bull testicles yet. We haven't found them. But my wife, she is not, trust me, I would let this go. My wife's like, she's into it. She's like, no, you gotta eat the testicles. So we're gonna find them somewhere around the way here, and we'll make a video and put it on YouTube, and you can check it out. Dan says 3 weekend podcasts and a YouTube show. He points out, he says, you guys are paid in attaboys and backslaps. Yeah.
That's so true, right?
That's true. Yeah, we also, I think we also have here, don't we get gold stars, little gold stars near our name?
We get a participation trophy. That's exactly what we get these days.
Michael says you need to attend a testicle festival and pay your bet off. Balls in beer. What more would you want?
Yeah, you might be safer doing this during Oktoberfest, right?
Late night drug tester says get some Connie's pizza and a bubbling yellow glass. Did you hear the big revelation, Gascon, on the overnight show?
I did not. What was
it? Doc Mike called up the last hour and revealed that his brother is in jail for life for murder. How about that? His brother was in a biker gang, and he got arrested, and he was charged with murder and got convicted 5 years ago. How about that?
How do we go from bull testicles to murder?
That's the beauty of this, man. Why not? Well, bull testicles are murder when you think about it. You're murdering the steer to get the bull testicles, right?
I guess so, man. That's wow. That's some special kind of stuff. This is your militia, right? This is a little bit different from anybody else. So God bless Dog Mike.
Mr. Luciano writes in. He says, bad job by you, Benjamin. The Falcons are going to win, he says. There you go.
A little surprised. So where are we going? We go from Atlanta to the city of brotherly love, right? Philadelphia?
Yes, the home of Fats in Philadelphia, Gascon. Cincinnati 0-2 at Philadelphia 0-2. This is the next game on our board. It's on CBS with Spiro Ditas, who had two great play-by-play jobs. He was the voice of the Lakers and the Knicks. He blew both those jobs, but he's still at CBS with Adam Archuleta on the call. Philadelphia, a 4.5-point favorite. The Eagles opened a 5.5-point choice. So a couple of 0-2 teams here. 0-2. Sunny 77 at the Link in Philly with no fans in attendance. Now, this is another one of those games I went back and forth on during the week when I was handicapping the game. I am going to take the Philadelphia Eagles, though. I'm going to take the Eagles in this game. For the first time in years, I will say this, it is actually enjoyable to watch the Bengals play with Joe Burrow. Statistically, he hasn't been that great, but he does pass the eyeball test. You know, he's only averaging 5.2 yards per attempt, which is actually last in the NFL. I was surprised by that.
Which is astronomical, because what did he throw, 61 attempts last week?
Well, that's the problem. The more attempts you have, the lower your percentage of completion. Your completions are there. He was throwing behind the line of scrimmage, but he has the it factor. It looks to be like he has the it factor. He also got me a backdoor cover, which I liked a lot, Gascon. I'm not going to lie. But he leads the NFL in he has 19 what's known as bad throws according to the advanced statistics. So he hasn't been statistically as good as he appears. Now that being said, Carson Wentz is second. He sucks also. And so the public, here's the other thing. I was going back and forth, Gascon, and one of the big variables I look for is the gambling market. And if all things are equal and I could pick either side and I could come up with a compelling argument, where is the gambling money at? Where are the wise guys and where are the dummies? Where's their money? The public, which is usually wrong, is loading up on Cincinnati. There's a lot of excitement about Joe Burrow. The really sharp gambler is taking Philadelphia here. So there's a split. I'm going to take Philadelphia. I can't tell you why, other than it's two bad teams. They're the home team. They are favored by 4.5. Philadelphia 27th in scoring offense. They're 26th in scoring defense. So they're equally bad. Okay, on both sides of the ball, and they just blow. However, Carson Wentz, he's going to snap out of it this week. The reason he's going to snap out of it is Cincinnati has a cottage cheese defense. They are giving up 25.5 points per game, but it's actually worse than that because so far they have played Tyrod Taylor and Baker Mayfield. So they haven't played an elite quarterback. Now, Carson Wentz is not an elite quarterback, but if Carson Wentz, let me rephrase this. If Carson Wentz plays the way he's played the first 2 weeks against Cincinnati's defense, then it's time to go to Jalen Hurts and bench Carson Wentz. This is a wager against the Cincinnati defense. Give me the Eagles. Eagles! That's for Philly Rob. I'm going to take the Eagles 34, Bengals 23. And the Penny picks, Gascon.
Penny is going with the road team, the Cincinnati Bengals, and the public on this one.
That's a bad job. You don't want to be with the public. You do not want to be with the public.
Listen, that's why I'm so surprised that you took Philadelphia last week, because they looked awful in week number 1, and their offensive line was in shambles. So you're a Rams fan. You turned your shoulder on them.
Wait. You didn't say that before. That's hindsight Gascon right there. That's after the fact reporting. You didn't say, I can't believe that during the podcast. You didn't say that at all.
Well, I don't want to say that because I don't want to throw like a wrench into your little machine here that you got. You as you said, you prep and you actually map out how you're betting on these games Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday before you get to the weekend. So how you cap these games is drastically different than everybody else. No one does 16 games every single weekend.
No, I'm an idiot. I'm a loser. It's a hobby. I admit it, Gascon. I've done it for a long time. It is a good way to learn about all the teams, though, and I don't have to ask. A lot of these radio guys, they have like a staff of producers that tell them, and I don't have that, so I do it myself. I like to be educated on the NFL. And as Dick Stockton, remember the great line from Dick Stockton, stats tell you what has happened. They don't tell you what's going to happen. That's why you have to watch every single week, right?
Yeah, of course. And if we have fantasy football players on each side, that makes it a little bit easier so we can watch a game like this, which doesn't have a lot of firepower.
Robert says the Bungles and the Uggles is a pick your poison game. That's what he had to say. Pierre says free A.J. Green. And Philip says the Eagles will avoid going 0-3, sadly.
And they could go 0-3 and still win that division. That's how bad it is.
And Pierre also said, he says, how long before Carson Wentz hits the injured list, the injured reserve? Well, we'll keep an eye on that. All right, next up for us, Gascon, the train keeps moving.
This
LA.
Yes? Is this your game of the week?
The LA Rams and the Buffalo Bills. This game is on Fox. Both these teams 2-0. Who do you think's calling this game, Gascon?
I'm going to say Joe Buck is on this one.
No, this is actually Chris Myers and Greg Jennings on Fox. Have the call. Chris, part of the Fox Sports Radio Alumni Association. The Bills opened a 3-point favorite. They're currently favored by 2. They're favored by. Now, the last forecast, I saw light rain, 76 degrees at kickoff at Bills Stadium. So I'm going to take the Rams in this game. And this is another one where I was going back and forth. I can come up with a compelling argument for Buffalo as a small favorite at home. But I'm going to take the Rams. Sean McVay has the Rams playing some sneaky good football. And I don't think this is a mirage. I'm not buying that it's because they've played bad teams. I think the Cowboys are an average team. Philadelphia so far has been a bad team. But the Rams were off everyone's radar, and they've been making some noise. Wins over the Cowboys and Eagles is not chopped liver. And now they get Josh Allen. And Josh Allen's been putting up huge numbers. I don't have him as my favorite in the MVP race. I don't have that, but I do have on the other side Aaron Donald. The Rams have the third best scoring defense. They have been a good offense, top 10 offense. They're ninth in scoring offense at 28.5 points per game. They were able to contain Dak Prescott for most of the second half of that game. They contained Carson Wentz last week. So Josh Allen's obviously better than those guys. Now, my skepticism about the Buffalo Bills here, and the reason I was skeptical about the Bills is the schedule. All right, you don't get style points. They beat a couple of tomato cans here, the Jets and the Dolphins. If Buffalo takes the Rams to the butcher shop, that will get my attention. I do not see that happening. This is going to be a nip and tuck game. The Rams have had a lot of success with this quick strike passing attack with Jared Goff, which has mitigated the impact of an elite defense in Dallas. Dallas thought that they got guys out now, but their defense has some name value on that. The Rams lead the NFL with 7.6 yards after the catch because Jared Goff's throwing these little short passes, and he's dependent on the receivers picking up chunks of yardage after the catch. So far, it's worked. How about this for a fun fact, too? Sean McVay and the Rams, since he took over, they're tied for the NFL's best record as a road dog since 2017. They are 6-1-0. That's an .857 winning percentage against the spread, documented for Sean McVay. And the Rams, overall, since the start of last season, Los Angeles is 13-5 against the spread. That's a .722 winning percentage. They're 2-0 against the number this year. I say that goes to 3-0. Rams pull the upset. Rams 32, Bills 26. And the Penny picks.
Penny is going with the Los Angeles Rams. Ben, check this out. I was looking at the first 2 weeks. In week 1, when they beat Dallas, they had 40 rushes for 153 yards. And then last week against Philadelphia, 39 rushes for 191. They've grounded and pounded. That's a little bit different from last season when they couldn't run the ball at all.
Yeah, no, listen, the numbers are good. I mean, Buffalo, we'll see what happens going
Yeah.
forward. I'm still not sold on Josh Allen. Triple nickel pickle tickle says Josh Allen. This is in the chat, Gascon. Josh Allen can't hold on to the ball. You can ram it all day. You can ram it all night. He points out. Philip says Ben looked shocked at the interruption, but powered through a real professional.
Not exactly TV, but it's pretty damn close, so we can roll with it.
Well, we were talking to Pat O'Brien off the air. Remember, Pat was telling us how he did television and the equipment wasn't working. He was on CBS and he had all kinds of technical difficulties.
Yeah,
and all that.
he had no producer in his ear, right? Like no sound, no IFB that was available.
Yeah, no IFB. I see some new people, Gascon, who have come in to watch the video. So when you come in here, click the thumbs up button. See the thumbs up button right there? Hey, thumbs up. And that helps us out there when you start watching the video. So
yeah, two other things too is that at the bottom of the YouTube screen, you can hit subscribe, which is great for us, and there's a bell to its right, so you can be notified when we go live each and every Friday, either afternoon or nighttime. Subscribe, hit that link, and then underneath we've partnered with Fanatics and also Ecamm Live. Ecamm Live is for Mac-based programs for streaming live, but Fanatics is for all you guys out there if you want to buy any kind of sports apparel. They partner with us. It helps support the show. Those two descriptions are the links are available in the description, so you guys can hit that up along with our social media accounts. Ben's got Cameo, so sooner or later we're gonna have him digest some bull testicles. I don't know when that's gonna be, but I'm certain it'll probably be on Cameo.
Well, no, it's got to be on YouTube. Cameo, it's like only one-on-one, Gascon. I mean, it's a personal experience. You want everyone to watch my agony. You're a dick.
Well, yeah, but what happens if you have 10 people that each want to watch you eat one testicle?
To pay for it? Well, no, I'm not eating 10 testicles. I'm eating one testicle, and that's it. Well, there you go.
All right.
How about this? Renee writes in. He says, Ben will hit 65% of his picks. Good job by you, Renee. It's a good job by you. Bob says, has the Maller Mansion had the furniture repossessed? He said, yes. yes, it has. As you can see, I mentioned this earlier, but doing overnights, we don't have any money for furniture, so it's not good. Do we have another question, Gascon? Do we have another Who Am I game question? Yes?
Yeah, you want to go into which one are we going? We got a couple different ones. We can go with we can go in the Valley of the Sun. I know you got one that's geared towards Larry Fitzgerald. So how about this one? With 2 receptions at home against the Lions, Larry Fitzgerald would pass who for the most receptions in NFL history at a single stadium? Who am I? Brought to you by Fanatics.
That's right. And don't forget Fanatics. We are partnered with Fanatics. What does that mean? It means if you're going to buy stuff at Fanatics anyway, but if you use the link, which is on the YouTube page, which you're watching this video on right now, in the description, you can support our show. They are a partner. Fanatics is a partner with this YouTube show. And again, this is a totally different animal than the radio show and the podcast. We have no corporate overlords on this. We are on our own. And so it's a great way. You're going to buy that stuff anyway. So if you just click the link, it doesn't cost you any money. In fact, you could actually save money on that. They have great prices. And so if you click that affiliate link right there on the description, that'll help you out. What's the answer to the question, Gascon? What is the answer?
Jerry Rice, 646 yards at Candlestick Park. Did you ever go there back in the day covering the Dodgers?
I did. I was there in the late 90s. There was a 2-game series at Candlestick Park. The Dodgers were to win the National League West.
Oh,
they had to win just one of the games. They lost the night game. They didn't play well, and then the day game went extra innings, and the backup catcher for the Giants hit a home run over the bleachers, the old bleachers in left field. And I was sitting in the auxiliary press box at Candlestick, which was the 49er press box.
Yeah.
And I had a bird's eye view of that home run. And I remember how crappy Candlestick Park was. I also remember the locker rooms. Horrible, man. My high school locker room was better than the locker room that the Dodgers had at Candlestick Park.
Worst stadium, Candlestick or Qualcomm?
I'm gonna go the old Shea Stadium in New York.
Oh,
Actually, no, yeah, Shea Stadium was a shithole. Is what? Can we say that, Gascon? I don't
you
know. It
already
was
did. So,
okay. It was horrible.
yeah.
Terrible, terrible, terrible. I like that the guys are still sending answers in, even though we've already given the answer. There's Art Monk. I saw that. Tim Brown, Steve Largent was guessed by Pierre. Pierre, yeah, I have a size 8 hat, Pierre. I have a size 8. I have a big head. All right, let's keep it going. We got one more early game, Gascon. Is that right?
Yes.
All
We're
right.
going from Buffalo to what? New York, right? New Jersey?
New Jersey, right across the New York, New Jersey border there at the Meadowlands facility, MetLife Stadium. Santa Clara 1-1 at the New York/New Jersey Giants 0-2. It's on Fox. You better watch. You've got who calling this game, Gascon?
Oh man, this is I'm gonna say is it who's the number 2? That's
Number 2.
is it
Come on,
Kevin Burkhardt? Is it Kevin Burkhardt?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Kevin Burkhardt is correct. Kevin Burkhardt and Daryl Moose Johnston, the old Cowboy, have the call. The 49ers, a 3.5-point favorite in this game at MetLife. 76 degrees, partly sunny, good weather at kickoff. Now, I'm taking the Giants in this game, and let me explain why. Now, Jimmy Garoppolo is out, so Nick Mullins, who's not terrible, but he's the backup for a reason, and he is getting tossed into the frying pan this week. And I just don't think that Nick Mullins should be favored. If this game was a pick'em, I might even take the 49ers, but I'm not trusting Nick Mullins to play a full game. Also, the Niners have been just decimated without Raheem Mostert. The defensive line, which was really the meat and potatoes of this 49er team, Nick Bosa and Solomon Thomas out. Richard Sherman is still out as well on injured reserve. So that downgrades the 49er defense. That dominant defensive line, though, that to me, that's the big thing. Bosa and Thomas messed up injury-wise. Now, secondly, obviously betting on the Giants, risky business. I got a cover last week. The Giants were able to keep it close, came back a little bit in the second half against Chicago. And Joe Judge, who I like his no-nonsense approach. He has been sabotaged to start his NFL coaching career. The Giants are trying to win on defense. They're still trying with the talent not really being there on offense. Now Saquon Barkley is out, so Devontae Freeman, formerly of Atlanta, he is a Band-Aid who they brought in. We'll see if he even plays or how much he plays this weekend. And I'm taking a chance here because since 2017, the Giants have played 16 games against teams at home as an underdog. They are 2-14. 2-14 against the spread as a home underdog of less than 7 points. That said, I do like the rebound effect. Teams have an unexpected spike after injuries. Both these teams have been injured. But from the Giants side of things, you've got that cornered rattlesnake, which is surprisingly effective. And people often underestimate the team in that situation. So I'm going to take the 49ers to win, Giants to cover on a field goal late. 49ers 20 and the Giants 17. And the penny picks.
Penny's going to go with the road team, the San Francisco 49ers in this one. You love the yards per pass attempt, yes? That's like one of your stats that jumps out to you?
Well, yeah, well, that is a big stat because 7 is average.
Yeah.
Anything below 7 is below average. Anything above 7 is good.
Yeah, Daniel Jones ranks 29th amongst passers right now, 6.4 yards per attempt. That is
he's not good. He's not good, but listen, Nick Mullins to me will play about as well as Mitch Trubisky, and the Giants covered that game last week.
Yeah.
They're at home. All right, moving on. We go to the late television window, Gascon. The late games, the New York Jets at Indianapolis. It's on CBS with Kevin Harlan. Well, Kevin Harlan's too good to do this dog crap game. And Trent Green have the call on CBS. The Colts, this is a oh my God type point spread in the NFL. The Colts opened up a touchdown favorite. They are favored by 11.5 points. Sweet baby Jesus. 11.5 points at Lucas Oil Stadium. You had Crazy Eyes Adam Gase. We did a monologue about him this week. The Jet players saying the team isn't practicing well and all that. So I'm going to take the Jets in this game plus 11.5. I am no, don't laugh at me, Gascon. Indianapolis played very well last week. They pretty much took a 2-by-4 to the forehead of the Vikings, and they came back very focused after that loss to Jacksonville. And what kind of effort are you going to get against the Jets? I mean, we saw what they did against Jacksonville. Gangrene, I'm not going to sit here and tell you they're anything more than the worst team in the NFL, because that's where they are. This line, though, is outrageously high, right? Outrageously high. And so I'm gonna take them. Adam Gase is not only a coach, he's been Sprinkles the Clown so far with the crazy eyes and all that stuff. He's 6 games under 500 in his career. The Jets, check this out, 31st in points, 32nd in yards. And he's supposed to be an offensive genius. The players have started to point fingers. But anytime you get double digits, anytime, you don't worry about the numbers. You got to be the contrarian. And also the sharp guys are on the Jets here. So the sharp money's on the Jets, which is another good thing. I'm on the side of the professional gambler. So I'm going to take the Jets plus 11.5. Show some bleeping pride. Compete. Colts 27, Jets 17. Don't shake your head at me. Don't do that. I'm gonna shake my head at you. I'm shaking my head at you, Gascon.
The penny is on the Indianapolis Colts. You know they rank number 1 right now in total yards against defensively, 208 a game.
Yeah. No, listen, they play well on defense. Although they did allow Gardner Minshew to complete 19 out of 20 passes. So there is that also.
Yeah, I guess so. But taking the New York Jets, it's a dangerous proposition. But of course, it's gambling, so.
Yeah. Jonathan in Delaware says the Jets are going to go over for the rest of the way. So you think they're going to go 0-16? No, come on, Jonathan.
Imperfect.
They'll win a game somewhere along the way. Walker writes and says, did Mallard get robbed? Where's the furniture? You guys are such dicks, all right? I mean, can't a guy sit in an empty room? What's wrong with you people? How dare you? My background is better than Gascon. Look at Gascon. Gascon's got the same cheese ball background right behind him. Look at that.
Yeah, it's a little bit different. I got some non-sponsored alcohol that I can bring to the party, so I could bring some Macallan to the party. You can't even bring. You can't even bring glasses to the party. You got no tables, no chairs.
I got these mints I got at dinner. They gave me some mints here. You can see those? I don't know if you can see those right there. So
yes, I can see. I can see them from your first endeavor to a restaurant in like 6 months.
I was very excited. I felt all like grown up. I got to go to a restaurant as an adult and sit at a table inside the restaurant.
Yeah,
it's fascinating. Yeah,
pretty nice. So you go from a restaurant to SoFi Stadium, yes?
Yes. That is the next game up. Carolina 0-2. The L.A. Chargers. Right there they are. All right, they're 1-1. It's on CBS. Greg Gumbel and Rich Gannon have the call. The Chargers opened a 6.5-point favorite. They are favored by 6.5. Sunny and 74 degrees at kickoff, but SoFi Stadium, Gascon, is a dome stadium, right? It's a dome stadium, but it's like a weird dome stadium because isn't it open on the sides?
Yeah, well, it's open on the sides. It's also open on the rooftop too. So
it's not a true dome then.
No, dome in nature that it can shield us from the inclement weather, but that's about it.
All right. Well, the Panthers are my pick. I'm going to take the Carolina Panthers. The game you see. Some of the numbers on the screen there against the spread recently. Carolina was supposed to be bad, and now the train has gone off the rails here. Teddy Bridgewater has been, as I expected, he is an average NFL starting quarterback when given the opportunity, and now he goes against a pretty good Charger defense without Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey's good for 2 touchdowns a game, 1 catching, 1 rushing. He's out for the next 4 to 6 weeks. His ankles all mangled and all that. So he has accounted for 30.7% of Carolina's total scrimmage yards in his career. That's the most of any player in the NFL since 2017. So this is a big body blow to the Carolina Panthers. In his place, the next man up on the depth chart is the generically named Mike Davis, who used to play for the Bears. He was next up on the depth chart. Now, the interesting story here is Los Angeles, because Anthony Lynn, so hell-bent, Anthony Lynn, on playing Tyrod Taylor, and he said all these disparaging things about Justin Herbert, and then he tried to dig out of that hole that he said. And so it turns out, obviously, Taylor's not going to play. He's got a rib injury from the team doctor. So I am going to take, as I said, Carolina. Now, Herbert looked good against the Chiefs. He held his own against the NFL's big boys here. And this, you figure it's a nice, soft landing spot. But I just don't trust a rookie quarterback favored by almost a touchdown in his first start. I guess it's weird saying this because he played well last week. But you know how it is? Like, he didn't expect to play. He found out like 5 minutes before the game that he was going to be the starting quarterback. He's had all week to think about it now. More importantly, Carolina, they've got some tape, so they now know what to look for, and they have a little bit of an edge in game planning for this. Chargers are going to win the game, but they're not going to cover the number. Chargers 27, Teddy Bridgewater, and the Panthers 23. And the Penny picks.
Penny is going with the L.A. Chargers in this one. They look pretty damn good. I know last week you were desperate to find a reason to take them against Kansas City, and you did. They served you well last week. Have you ever heard of an incident like that where you have a team doctor puncture your quarterback's lung, trying to inject him with something?
Well, I had a buddy of mine that works in radio that is convinced Doc Mike was the team doctor for the Chargers because he was in L.A. He flew out to Los Angeles over the weekend that he was filling in as the Charger team doctor. No, that's like out of a bad sports movie. That's out of like a sports comedy movie is what that is. It's crazy. Travis writes in, says, Ben, you lost all of your furniture last week based on your inaccurate picks. Screw you, Travis. How dare you? Chris wants to know where the strippers are. Do we know where the strippers are, Gascon? Where are the strippers?
No, someone was asking for Bella, though. I know that.
Oh, I could put Bella. I don't know where Bella is, though. She's not behind me, as you can see, Gascon. There's no Bella behind me.
Yeah.
I don't know where she is. She's walking around the house somewhere, but not here.
Pierre wants to know how you can take the Carolina Panthers.
Because I'm a gambler. I'm not a fanboy, and there's value in underdogs. I generally like underdogs. I don't like betting on rookie quarterbacks in their first start. It usually doesn't go all that well. So there is that. Renee says he'll take a martini. Do you have a martini, Gascon? Can you give Renee a martini?
I haven't had one in a while. Do you do vodka or do you do gin martinis, Ben?
I'm more of a vodka guy. I've got some Russian blood in me, so I'm more of a vodka guy.
Nice. All right. Very good. Very good. Speaking of which, you are 2-0 when taking this team, and we go back to the Mile High City for this one.
Yes, we are taking the Denver Broncos, a home team here at 0-2, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at 1-1. It's on Fox. You better watch. You know who's calling this game?
There's no way this is Dick Stockton. So this has got to be. Oh, this has got to be Joe Buck, right?
No. This is Adam Amin.
Adam Amin. Adam Amin.
I don't know. I don't know who this clown is. Adam Amin. All right, Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth. I know how to say Schlereth's name because he played in the NFL.
Hey, his son actually pitched. His son pitched for the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
There was a lot of smoke. Yeah.
How come you know all these play-by-play guys, right? What's up with that?
Just trying to get to that level. You know what I mean?
Yeah, how's that going for you?
Well, yeah? I'm doing a Friday night YouTube show with Ben Mallers. Tell me that.
Well, what are you talking? Screw you, man. I host a syndicated overnight radio show. I'm sitting here in an empty goddamn room breaking NFL games. I could have done this on the radio show Wednesday night and been free laying down in my bed and hibernating. And instead, I'm hanging out with you and your stupid long sleeve. Are you wearing a long sleeve shirt there?
No,
I
it's
can't
rolled up.
tell.
I've been doing a lot of work. I've been setting up
Yeah.
lights and cameras and all the graphics for you. So yeah, I mean, plus you do your Monday through Friday show from your bed anyway. So this gets you out a little bit from one room to
Oh,
another.
I know you're so jealous. You are so jealous of
A
this.
little envious, yes.
I have followed the company guidelines. The iHeartMedia company that I work for has asked me to do the show from home. I happen to have a studio. I've had it for several years. I'm just telling you, Gascon, listen, if you were valuable enough to the company, they would do that for you. But you're clearly, you know where you are in the pecking order for the company.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
That certainly is true. Anyways, you digress. Let's go back to Denver.
All right, Tampa Bay and Denver, the Buccaneers, a 5.5-point road favorite. Holy crap. All right, 5.5-point road favorite. It is going to be mostly sunny. 83 degrees at kickoff at Empower Field at Mile High. I am going to take the Broncos. I've got the Broncos in this game. Now, I'll tell you what. First of all, the idea of Tom Brady in Tampa Bay is much better than the reality. The reality is always different from the idea. And so you better make sure you love the reality if you're going to bet on Tom Brady, because you're not getting the Tom Brady of his salad days in New England. You're getting old man Brady in his mid-40s as a quarterback in Tampa. While Brady brings that championship pedigree that sportscasters like to talk about, he is also a falling star. And what is the mantra we say on the radio? Do not let a falling star
fall on you.
Yes. NFL's 29th ranked quarterback after 2 games, Tom Brady. You see some of the numbers. You saw them on the screen here a moment ago against the spread. More troubling, though. In his history at the Mile High City, Tom Brady has won everywhere, but he has had some issues here in the Mile High City. TB12 has lost 3 playoff games. He's 4-7 overall in Denver. However, he's done very well when he was playing in New England against the Broncos. He's actually won 6 of his last 7 against the Broncos, for whatever that's worth. And the reason so many people are betting on Tampa is because of the popularity of Tom Brady. It's also because of the fact the Broncos do not have their starting quarterback, Drew Lock. He is out of here. And in his place, you've got Jeff Driscoll, and they just signed Blake Bortles to be the backup. That said, again, Tom Brady, this guy is a shadow of what he had been. And there is a belief, and I've bought into this dogma, that home teams, as an underdog, are a gift. Accept the gift, Gascon. You've got to accept the gift. Okay, don't look at me like that. You've got to accept the gift. I'm going to do it. In fact, I'm actually taking the Broncos. This is how little I trust Tom Brady. I think the Broncos win the game outright. I don't even think the point spread's going to matter. I think they win the game. Broncos 24, Buccaneers 23. And the Penny picks.
Oh, homer alert. Penny is going with the Denver Broncos. They are a covering machine so far here in 2020.
Well, you are a Bronco fanboy, so that would make sense.
I have no idea what you're talking about. It's professional sportscaster. I don't have a rooting interest. I just want a good game and something that's close and competitive.
Liar, liar, pants on fire. Dan writes in, says, grown men wearing orange looks like a Fanta. He also says, I'm basement Maller.
Hey, Fanta is great with street tacos in Culver City or in Wilmington, and I will stand by that till the day I die.
Jay Scoop writes in, says, beer drinking Brian and a half pint could beat the Broncos at this point. Wow. All right, let's keep it going here, Gascon. I got a few more late games. We'll get to the primetime games. Next up, Dallas at Seattle. It's on Fox. You better watch. You know who's calling this game?
That's got to be the Joe Buck game, right?
That is the Joe Buck game. Joe Buck, Troy Aikman. Why? The Dallas Cowboys are ratings gold on television. They are truly America's team. Everyone watching the Cowboys. Dallas 1-1, Seattle 2-0. The Seahawks are a 4-point favorite in this game. The game opened at 3.5 in favor of Seattle. The weather mostly cloudy, 66 degrees at kickoff at CenturyLink Field. I'm going to take the Cowboys plus the points in this game. Cowboys should be 0-2. They were given a gift by the stumble bum Falcons last week. You see all the numbers, the point spread numbers and all that. This is a real litmus test for Mike McCarthy's team. They did not match up with the Rams. And I know there was that controversial pass interference call, but the Rams did enough to win that game. They deserve to win that game. Russell Wilson, he has gone scorched earth so far this year. He has played out of his mind. He's a good player. He's played better than his talent in the NFL this season. Now, my optimism is on the Cowboys here because of that atrocious Seattle defense. It gets covered up because Seattle's won these games and Russell Wilson has great numbers. But the Seahawks are a one-man band. Okay, they got Russell Wilson, and that's it. Period, stop. Their defense is right at the bottom of almost every category, yards allowed, points, etc. Dallas has covered 8 of their last 10 as an underdog. Obviously, that was in a previous coaching staff. Mike McCarthy's only coached 2 games. I am going with the Cowboys, though, to keep it close. Seattle, under Pete Carroll, has mastered the art of winning ugly, which doesn't mean winning by a wide margin. So I think this game's going to come down to the very end, just like we saw with New England and Seattle. And I like getting over a field goal with Dallas. So I am going to take the Cowboys +4, Seahawks 33, Cowboys 30. And the penny picks.
Penny's actually going to go with the Seattle Seahawks in this one. A little bit of a surprise. There's a absolute love affair with Jamal Adams. Did you hear anybody last year speak so eloquently about him when he was in New York? Because it's been nothing but rose petals and fruit dangling from the heavens on Jamal Adams this season.
No, well, the Jet fans that work in the media, Gascon, they kissed his ass last year, but now everyone's kissing his ass.
Yeah, but he's a hell of a football player. But
he's a safety. He's a safety, though. Come on.
Yeah, there's guys that have come to mind, like Troy Polamalu, Bob Sanders the year that he won Defensive Player of the Year. Like, there's certain safeties that can jump out at you. He's certainly one of them, but he's not great in coverage.
What else? Philip writes in and says, my Cowboys are going to get slapped around. Steve says the Seahawks are going to kill them. Yeah, hey, listen, that's another thing I didn't bring up here. The gambling, the sharp guys are betting on Dallas. The public is loading up on Seattle because of Russell Wilson.
Yeah. I personally am a fan of Jay Scoop when he says Ben's latest nickname, the over-under sports wonder. It's pretty good.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. I should add that to my list. I have more nicknames than anybody in radio. You know that, Gascon?
Yeah, it's pretty good. You also have the biggest fan of any radio host across the United States.
That's right. We're going to hear about that on the Saturday podcast. And this Benny versus the Penny, I see a lot of brigadier generals. I see a lot of decorated members of the Mala Militia in the chat room. My biggest P1s. You guys are great. And if you listen to the Saturday podcast, it's going to drop at 9 o'clock Eastern, 6 o'clock in the West, the 5th hour. Wait till you hear. We have a pending beef with someone in sports media, and you will hear that for the first time on the Saturday podcast. So my brigadier generals, you took the oath. If you took the oath, you're going to have to be activated here, and I'll tell you more about that on the podcast.
Yeah, the links are at the bottom, so if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, you can do that. Also, click on the bell for indications on when we go live next week. The podcast is a link down there. You can subscribe, give us 5 stars, and rate us. And then also we partner with Fanatics, so if you guys want to support the show, you can click on that link. Any kind of merchandise, there's discounts that are available for you guys. You can purchase anything on the site. They're great, and they've obviously done a lot for us already, so you can obviously support us in that capacity. And then Ecamm Live, which is obviously powering this show. All the software made Mac-based, but allows us to stream, have you guys included as well. So a lot of fun, but everything's in the description, so make sure, besides the pledge to Ben Maller, you guys do the extra grunt work by clicking, subscribing, the whole 9 yards.
Are you wearing a wig, by the way, Gascon? It kind of looks like a wig on camera. It looks like a
This
wig.
it happens to be a full head of hair. I know you haven't seen that for the last 20, 25 years, but
Well, I have a great hat. I have a great hat collection. I don't need
yeah,
hair.
it's because you
Hair's
have no
overrated.
hair.
Hair's overrated.
You have no hair. Your facial hair is mangled. It looks disheveled.
My facial hair is great. Screw you. This is
It's
a wonderful beard right here. This is a sexy beard I got right here.
if you're
Sexy,
in Alaska,
sexy, sexy.
if you're in Alaska, South Dakota, maybe Montana, and during the holidays like December, Christmas time, no, not when you're west of the 405. You usually need
Oh,
to
here
be
we go. West of the
in-
405. Yeah. Steve writes in. He says Gascon is playing the rich, sharp sports bettor, and Ben is playing the part of the everyday slob. You're
Yeah.
damn right. I'm the man of the people. I am west of the 405. I'm not like Gascon over there. Please.
That means you need to get one of Bill Belichick's hoodies from last week where it had like the holes up in the shoulders.
The demon spawn says, "Bring back Weed Man Hippie." I didn't tell Weed Man to stop calling. You guys chased Weed Man away. I didn't chase Weed Man Hippie away. He
Guys.
couldn't handle the Maller militia. Travis says Fats from Philly is the biggest fan. He's the fire to the fan base. That's true. Fats, by the way, emailed me. He's been on furlough.
Why?
So he has not, because his job, everyone's been furloughed this year because of Corona.
Yeah.
But he says on Wednesday he's coming back, so he will start contributing live
Good.
to the radio show. So we're going to get Fats back. He's been listening to the podcast, but he's going to be back as a live listener.
That's good.
So that's exciting.
I know it's challenging for a lot of people, but it's good to at least have people participating and engaging and all that. And I know right now what you're doing. You've delayed this next game for the last 5 minutes. I've been looking at the clock. You're not by the clock, Maller. Let's go
All right, well, hurry up.
to Arizona.
Hurry up. Yeah, I know you're in a hurry, Gascon.
Let's go to Arizona because I know that's not
Martini.
where you want to go.
All right, Detroit 0-2, Arizona 2-0. It's on Fox. You better watch. Who's calling this game?
Let's go with Dick Stockton, yes.
Ding, ding, ding. Well, Dick lives in Arizona part of the year, and I guess it's this part of the year. So is he only going to do the Cardinal games?
I don't know. Him and Brady Quinn are doing this game, right?
Yes. This is the second game he's done, and both have been Arizona Cardinal games.
That's great.
So I just let him stay at home. Yes.
Why not, man?
Brady Quinn, he still does a show on the weekends on
Yeah,
Fox Sports Radio, right?
He works with Jonas Knox on Sunday night, just before kickoff of Sunday Night Football.
All right, so I am going to take in this game. The Cardinals are a 6.5-point favorite. I'm going to take the Lions in this game. It's going to be 102 degrees at kickoff at State Farm Stadium. Kyler Murray, guys like Gascon love to hype this guy up. The low information fan like Gascon, and as a runner, I would say Kyler Murray is a top 5 player in the NFL. The problem, as a thrower, he has been average, and I always have been of the mindset that throwing the ball is more important as a quarterback than running the ball. And currently, Kyler is the 25th ranked quarterback, just ahead of Sam Darnold in quarterback rating. He's 16th in completion percentage. He's averaging 6.6 yards per pass, worse than Ryan Fitzpatrick coming into this weekend and Mitch Trubisky. Now, you would assume he fattens up his stat sheet against the Lions defense, but you know what happens when you assume. The Cardinals are without a defeat so far, but they're playing with fire. I'll tell you why here. Arizona had 14 negative plays as a result of penalties, stuffed runs, sacks, and interceptions against Washington. So you have that many negative plays. You are asking to lose the game. I don't care who you play. They were able to win last week, which is fine. But that number should be about 5. And they had 14 of them. They're also an undisciplined team. They've got 20 penalties in 2 games. I'm going to take the Lions to hang around here. And they've been very good at blowing big leads. Cardinals 30, Lions 26, the final. And the Penny picks.
Penny is going with the home team, the Arizona Cardinals, to win outright and, of course, cover that 6.5.
All right, Lee from the Valley of the Sun writes in, says, this is the game where Kyler Murray will have 400 passing yards. Go curse of the Bambino.
Hey, you know he's 5th in the National Football League in QBR? It's pretty damn good. You failed to mention that.
Well, you look at your stats, I look at my stats, and you like those little alligator arms. I do not. So you like he. You know, I watch the Cardinals. It looks like a video game glitch. It does. You can roll your eyes all you want. Kyler Murray. It's like a cheat code on Madden where they let the Pop Warner All-Star play quarterback. That is what Kyler Murray is under center. It's like, oh look, he must have won a contest online to play quarterback. He's not as tall as all the other guys on the field. It's unbelievable. It's like, who let their kid play quarterback this week?
Newsflash, who cares about the quarterback's height? Drew Brees isn't tall. Doug Flutie wasn't tall. Matt Ryan is 6'6", and he's absolutely horrific. All he can do is throw the football down the field, but he can't win any big games. Who cares about height for a quarterback?
I do. Drew Brees, let me tell you, compared to Kyler Murray, Drew Brees could post up Kyler Murray. He is like a minute bowl compared to Kyrie Irving. So stop with that nonsense, please. You're such a little Cardinal fanboy. Why don't you leave the Broncos and become a Cardinal fan? You're so embarrassing. You're so damn embarrassing.
I might have to do that, given the fact that Scottsdale this time of the year is probably pretty nice.
All right, now listen, I see more people coming in and watching Benny versus the Penny. Click that button. You guys, the amount of people that have been watching this video and the amount of people that have clicked the thumbs up, it takes literally no effort to click the thumbs up. You guys are so lazy. Why are you so lazy? My God, just click the like button on that. All right. Next up, Sunday Night Football in the Bayou. Green Bay 2-0 at Nolans. 1-1. It's on NBC with Mike Tirico and Chris Collinsworth, the Sunday night game. The Saints, when this line originally came out, it was a 6-point line. New Orleans is favored by 3. It's going to be mostly clear, 78 degrees at kickoff at Mercedes-Benz Superdome. Obviously, it's inside. It's a night game. I'm going to take the Packers in this game. Now, John Gruden laid out the roadmap to attack the Saints. The question is, can Aaron Rodgers and the Packers, with Devontae Adams banged up and all that, can they execute that game plan? Malcolm Jenkins was not only on the field for New Orleans, he was literally drowning in a desert of sand in Las Vegas. The passing attack of the Raiders, they targeted Malcolm Jenkins early and often. You can see all the against the spread numbers and all that, but expect him to be targeted again in this game regularly by Green Bay. That is a point of emphasis. Now, secondly, New Orleans will look to bottle up the passing game. Obviously, to stop Aaron Rodgers, you stop the Green Bay Packers. So Rodgers is going to have to be able to spread the ball around. Now, Drew Brees is the living embodiment of what we said earlier in Benny versus the Penny. A falling star. Don't let a falling star fall on you. Drew Brees isn't even attempting to try to throw the ball down the field. He's averaging 4.8 air yards. That is dead last in the NFL. Aaron Rodgers is averaging 9 air yards. He's throwing the ball way past the line of scrimmage. I have been hibernating on the Packers so far this year. That hibernation is about to end this week. I am going to be eating cheese curds and enjoying myself this weekend. Packers 34 and the Saints 30. And the Penny picks
Packers as well. Ben, that's usually, and correct me if I'm wrong, but that's usually the most dangerous line for a home team to have, right? -3.
I don't know. I don't know if I buy that. But I don't think New Orleans is as good, especially without their star receiver, Mike Thomas, with Michael Thomas out again. I don't trust Drew. Drew Brees is going to have to find a way to get the ball down the field, and he hasn't even tried to get that. Now, I have a feeling in this game early on, Gascon, he is going to try to throw the ball down to shut up the naysayers like me. Yeah. And so we'll see if he can do it. We'll see if he can, because he was throwing behind the line of scrimmage last week.
Yeah, he didn't get Emmanuel Sanders involved until late, and it was all Alvin Kamara left. Alvin Kamara right. He reminds me of Peyton Manning in 2015. Even though they won the Super Bowl, he couldn't push the ball down the field. And that was even before the injury or before he got benched against Kansas City.
Let's see what they're saying in the chat room here, Gascon.
They want to know if you're filing for bankruptcy because you have an empty home.
No, this is just a spare room in the Maller Mansion. Look how beautiful that floor is. Isn't
Who
that a
has a
beautiful?
spare room like that? It looks like
Well,
it's a living room.
well, don't judge me. Well, you're so judgmental. Typical west of the 405, la di da.
Yeah.
Look at me. I live west, right near the Pacific Ocean, with all the rich fat cat people. How dare you?
Yeah. Nothing wrong
I
with
can't
that.
afford furniture. Pay me some money for this podcast, Gascon. Pay me some damn money.
Try to do that. How about this? You can
Fanatics?
experience. Yeah, you could do that, of course. But when you come west of the 405 with Pat O'Brien, then you can experience what it's like to be in the.
Well, no, see, I did text Pat. Pat lives in Beverly Hills, which is not west of the 405. So Pat's a man of the people. People that
Yeah.
live in Beverly Hills are very relatable, Gascon. Unlike you people west of the 405, you don't realize that.
All right. Well,
Yeah,
fair enough.
yeah.
Now, since you mentioned Fanatics, can we do the last Who Am I game?
Yes, let's do the last 2 MI game. Let's put it up on the screen there, Gascon, so everyone can guess, try to
Since
answer
the
it.
start of the 2018 campaign, Ryan Tannehill is tied with which NFC quarterback for the NFL's most games with a 145 passer rating? Who am I? And of course, Ben mentioned it. We have partnered with Fanatics. The link is in the description. Click on that. Support the show. Buy any products. They're discounted. But of course, Ben, Ryan Tannehill went from air Tannehill to air-free
Yeah.
Tannehill over the next couple of years.
Yeah, well, he had that stretch last year when he took over from Mariota, and he looked like Joe Montana. I still don't trust. I don't trust him. I still don't trust him. But hey, credit to him. He's played better than he had ever before in Miami. I just don't think it happens again this week. And while you're clicking on Fanatics trying to come up with the answer, I see Robert said Quincy Carter. TJ Rubley was guessed by Jonathan. That's pretty funny. Gascon's makeup artist. Yeah, you look like you're wearing makeup, Gascon. This is a low production YouTube show. Why are you wearing makeup? How
I'm
embarrassing!
definitely
to
not
wear
doing that.
makeup.
I was up in the sun today though. I'm like burned. I'm fried. You can see.
Nah, you look like you're wearing makeup.
Yeah, well, definitely not wearing makeup at 10:20
Oh, I
on a
see
Friday
I see
night.
the answer there. It's Drew Brees. I see the answer on the screen. It's Drew Brees.
Yeah.
There you go. All right, last game, Gascon.
Last
game. You excited?
one. Where are we going to?
All right, the next game and the final game. This is the game of the weekend on Monday Night Football. Kansas City 2-0 at Baltimore 2-0. It's on ESPN. Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and Louis Riddick have the call on this game. The Ravens, they opened up a 2.5-point favorite. They are favored by 3.5. Partly cloudy, 65 degrees at kickoff at M&T Bank Stadium in Baltimore. And I'm going to take, in the game of the weekend, I'm going to take Baltimore. I'm going to lay the 3.5, take the Ravens in this game at home. The public is all over Kansas City. I understand why. There's a compelling argument made. Anytime you can get Patrick Mahomes as a dog, right? As a dog, that's not going to happen very often. And you're getting 3.5 points in this game. Kansas City is the top team in football, even though I believe they're going to lose this game. I still believe they're the better team by the end of the year. But from pillar to post, I would rather take Kansas City. But I am picking Baltimore because of this matchup on the game on Monday night. The Patrick Mahomes Chiefs, since he joined Kansas City, they are 6-1-1 as a road dog. So that's a good trend if you like trends. But here's the thing. Matchups make fights. And they also give you a good idea of what to expect during an NFL game. The Ravens' meat and potatoes, every man, woman, and child knows what it is. The meat and potatoes here is run, run, run. That is how they win games. Lamar Jackson and a stable of running backs, Mark Ingram, J.K. Dobbins, Gus Edwards, they rotate these guys in. What is the weakness of the Chiefs' defense? Stopping the run, right? Stopping the run. They're allowing 4.6 yards per carry, an average of 150 yards per game on the ground, and they have not played an elite running team yet. I don't think the Chargers are an elite running team, certainly not the Houston Texans. So if that trend holds, and obviously the Chiefs are going to try to overcompensate to stop the running game, everyone does, but Baltimore I trust the Ravens to run the ball, so I'm going to take my chance with the Ravens at home. They are 4th in the NFL, averaging 5.1 yards per carry. So they've been great as advertised. Ravens 33 and the Chiefs 27. And the penny picks the final game.
And the penny is going with the Baltimore Ravens in this one. So tailing you into Monday Night Football.
Monday night. All right, listen, I want to think. We're not quite done yet. We have some more bullcrap for you. But I want to thank you guys. All right, we've had more people this week than we had last week. So each week we've had more people watching live. I don't know what time this is going to be next week. It really depends on our schedule. I think it'll be earlier probably, right? Gascon, most likely it's going to be a little earlier, but we don't know. Maybe it'll be the same time.
Yeah,
it could be the same.
Do people like because I know there's some East Coasters in Boston and New York that wanted to watch it, but they couldn't do so because it was obviously 12, 1 o'clock in the morning. But, we're always free to do it sometime earlier than that. The NBA playoffs for tonight's was a little bit different of a scene. We had the same thing last weekend. But, yeah, we can always kind of shuffle up and deal out the cards at a different time if need be.
Yeah, so one more final, I'm going to beg again, Gascon here. Thumbs up, all right? Thumbs up in the chat and on the YouTube page. And if you're looking to buy a hat or a T-shirt or something, go to Fanatics. There's a link right there. We're a partner with Fanatics here. We're an affiliate of Fanatics, so it doesn't affect you at all. It just helps us out when you buy something. So you're not going to have to pay more or anything like that. It's just you click on the link and buy whatever the hell you want.
And so for guys that just showed up, since we've had no females so far, you've had
we have yet. Is it true we have yet to have any women watch Benny versus the Penny? One.
We've not had one female just yet.
How is that possible?
I don't know.
How is that possible?
I feel a little embarrassed considering the fact that most females that listen to your show usually do so when I'm on the air with you. But
no, Gascon. This is actually a good thing, right? This is a place for men, all right? This podcast is for dudes. Do you understand? This is a hardo football podcast. You should be honored. There are very few things left in society that are for men. This is a man's podcast.
Listen, I'm driven by numbers and statistics, so I don't care if it's men or females. Get them all in here no matter what. Hey, listen, since we've had a bunch of people that showed up late, I'm going to go through this. Double check me, though. You've got Washington, New England, Pittsburgh, Minnesota, Chicago, Philly, the Rams, the Giants, the Jets, Panthers, Broncos, Cowboys, Lions, Packers, and Ravens. And unfortunately, yesterday you took Jacksonville.
Yes, you were one of the people I text, Gascon. Did I not text you 5 minutes in the game?
It was over.
I said. I knew right away Jacksonville was not ready to play that game.
Yeah.
I knew right away that they were not into it, and that was it. And I was screwed. And that's the worst feeling. There's nothing you can do. There's nothing you can do. You're just screwed. One team's not there, the other team is there. The Dolphins' credit showed up.
And the worst part is now we're going to get all weekend long or all into next week about how Ryan Fitzpatrick has turned on the light switch, and now it's Fitzmagic back again for week number 4. So,
well, I did a monologue on the game, and I mentioned that's actually a bad thing.
Yeah,
because that will now buy him more time as a starting quarterback when they should be playing Tua Tagovailoa. So it's like, what are you doing? I mean, he's a character, Ryan Fitzpatrick, and I like that. But what are we doing? Seriously.
Yeah.
All right. Now, more importantly, Gascon, who is fueling this podcast, Gascon? Who is making this podcast possible?
It's Ecamm Live. It's in the description. They're Boston-based, which is great. The fellas on the East Coast, for all your Mac-based streaming purposes, it's available on Zoom. Obviously, here on Skype, it's pretty intuitive, too, so you can get guys that want to come on in from different parts of the globe. You can stream on YouTube, on Twitter, on Twitch, on Facebook. There's like 30 applications that you can get on Ecamm Live. If you're interested in it, if you're a teacher, if you're a producer, if you're a content creator, you can use this vehicle. It's great for obviously monetizing anything they want to get out there into the open. It records everything, so after this broadcast is over, you guys are able to watch it back on demand on YouTube. Ecamm Live, the link is at the bottom. We've partnered with them as well. There's an affiliate link that supports us, so you guys are interested in that, click on the link and
Hold on a sec, Gascon. We got breaking news. We have breaking news here, Gascon. We have an actual female, the first female documented, at least claiming to be a female, listening to the show. She's a Saints fan. I see her in the chat. She just announced, hey, I'm a woman. So, Gascon, we have improved the female viewership 100% higher. Gascon was so upset. No, seriously, you were upset. You were texting me during the week. You're like, dude, your entire audience is dudes. There's no women. You were like, oh, you're giving me a hard time. You're busting my balls.
Yeah, because the only time we ever talk about women on your show are the ones that are dead.
Well, unfortunately, many of my female callers have died, but so many of my men callers have died also. I mean, I've been on the radio for a long time, Gascon. People die. It's what happens.
Collateral damage. That's fine.
No, but we have a lot of female. Regina in Minnesota.
Tammy
in Montana. We have our friend
Christina
in Berkeley.
in Denver.
She doesn't call anymore. But we have our friend in Berkeley.
Oh, yeah.
The power couple, Andrea. We have the power couple in Florida, Jack the Judge and Leslie. We got women everywhere.
What about
the ladies in the Maller Militia? They're rising up the ranks there, guys.
What about the bourbon couple in Kentucky?
Oh no. Well, yeah, that's right. Well, they don't call in, but they're on the podcast.
Okay.
Kentucky K and J, right? Isn't that how they J and K? I believe that is correct. Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a ton.
All right.
Absolutely, man. Yeah.
Bring him into the show for next weekend.
All right.
So listen, you promised at the top of the show, you will bat a ripe 650 this weekend.
650. If I don't win 65% of my picks, Gascon, this is a Maller guarantee.
All right.
Maller guarantee. All of my picks will be free next weekend. Every one of them. You won't have to call my 1-900 number, right? Now, at some point, we should point out, Gascon, these picks are for entertainment purposes only.
Yes.
And if you have a gambling problem, you should not be listening to this podcast. And remember, this is marginal handicapping advice.
Yes.
Do what you want to do. I'm just telling you what I think is going to happen, okay?
Well, you're doing that with great caution, so we need you to win at least 11 of 16 games this weekend. I hope to God you do it. Jacksonville has gotten you off to a bad start, but it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
We're going to win. I'm not worried, Gascon. I got things to do. I got to go buy some furniture for the room behind me here. I got to put a sofa back there. I got to put a chair over here, maybe a table right up here somewhere. So I got things to do.
Yes, and you also need to get a barbecue so you can cook that damn tomahawk steak. Get the hell out of here.
You are horrible. You're a horrible person.
I know.
All right. Bye, everybody.
See ya.
Remember the podcast.